Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, see, here's the thing with this, right? It's all like Disney, just everybody was all proud for the movie or whatever, and for the Snow White movie, and of course, as we all know, it's failing. It's going down in fire. It's going down in flames because Disney is just like, no, we cannot be having a movie like this, right? Because if we did, we would never be able to have another movie again because it's so bad we have to feel embarrassed for it. So what we have here is Disney not doing too well with the movie because apparently they're so scared of it that it's going to do terrible. They're not even going to show it on the red carpet. That's how bad it's gotten. The $272 million Disney movie is so woke, its premiere is being held in secret. How backlash against Snow White remake, which dumped dwarf actors and sexist romance, has forced producers to quietly relocate its opening to a remote Spanish castle. See, you love to see it, right? Because it's terrible. Okay, let's be honest here. Part of the reasons why this movie is going to do terrible is for a few reasons, right? First off, it's woke. Then it's Rachel Zegler, and then we have the movie is live action. Those are the three main reasons here, right? These are the three main reasons why this movie is doing terrible, and it's going to do terrible because of those three main reasons. Honestly, the woke and Rachel Zegler can intertwine with each other because Rachel Zegler has done probably almost the same amount of damage, if not more damage, than the wokeness because of her very, very stupid comments. So, we have this here saying the premiere for the Snow White remake has been relocated to a remote castle in Spain after Disney were forced to scale back the promo of a backlash against its woke themes and stars Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Film bosses had originally planned to stage a glittering Hollywood soiree worthy of the staggering $269 million spent on making the movie, with events planned in Los Angeles, London, and around the world. Yet, amid a series of scandals and PR nightmares, good job, Rachel Zegler, surrounding the remake, Disney scaled back the planned lavish premieres to a handful of tightly controlled press events. The biggest of these is now thousands of miles away from the media's glare, with Zegler, Snow White, and Gal Gadot, Evil Queen, jetting to the tiny of Segovia, northwest of Madrid, which boasts a population of just 51,000. So that means they're gonna get nothing. So essentially, what we have here is that Disney knows that this movie's cooked, right? Disney knows that this movie is just not going to do well, which I'm not very too surprised by it, right? I mean, when you have the face of a movie be absolutely abysmal, absolutely terrible in every way, shape, and form, obviously you're not going to have a movie that is going to do well. It just pretty much is. I mean, a first appearances is everything. I know a handful of people, such as myself, didn't want to go see the Marvel movie, Captain Marvel, specifically because of how the actress said don't watch it in males, etc., right? So I mean, if you have people where she did something like that and it didn't like people hated the movie for that, then you're going to have a huge problem with somebody way worse than her, which would be Rachel Zegler, which I didn't think that was possible, do way worse than her and just to bomb the movie. Media outlets have not been invited to the event at Alsgar of Segovia, a medieval castle that rests on a rocky crag at the western end of Segovia's old city, which has been declared a UNESCO's World Heritage Site. Earlier this month, an insider told the Mail Disney are already anticipating an anti-backlash or anti-woke backlash against Snow White and have reduced the media schedule to just a handful of tightly controlled press events. That is why they have taken the highly unusual step not to host a London premiere for the film and are minimizing the amount of press questions that Rachel Zegler gets. Yes, because she is an absolute travesty to the movie, right? She is absolutely terrible. I mean, you don't want this woman opening her mouth. I mean, if she opens her mouth, you're probably wondering, oh God, what is she going to say? Is she going to say something that's going to bomb her movie? She's going to cost us millions. Like, yeah, they just don't want her around. While the premiere is being held away from typical haunts one would expect for a movie of such grandeur, there is some significance in its choice. The Asgard of Segovia was the inspiration behind the castle of Disney's 1937 original animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, with the sensitive shaped turrets and steep roofs seen in the feature. The Alcazar was built and rebuilt over a hundred of years, beginning as a palace of the Muslim governor in the 10th century. Today is a prominent example of Mudejar architecture and Moorish-influenced style common in Libya from the 13th and 16th centuries. The upper stories of the place are still used by Spain's royal family when they visit Seville. The public have been banned from entering the castle on Wednesday and Thursday, with a notice stating it has simply been closed for a private event. I think we all know what private events. So, yeah. Again, I don't think this is a good thing, right? I mean, the fact that they're going this far to cancel this just to avoid immediate woke backlash is hilarious to me. And it ain't looking great, right? It ain't looking great at all. And I think it's going to be a huge problem. And what we have here as well, Rachel Zegler's Snow White box office projections now up to 22 million lower than already building outlook. So it's not great already. It's already doing god awful, and it's not even out yet. I mean, Jesus. Says at the time of writing, Snow White is projected to debut at the domestic box office with an opening weekend in a range between 48 and 58 million. This puts the movie on a significant downward slide that could see it coming in up to 22 million lower than its initial upper bound, as the movie's long-range projections as of February 7th were between 63 and 70 million. So, again, we have this here, where Dumbo 2019 and Aladdin all made around 353 million, 1 billion, etc., right? All these things here, which I think some of these do good. I think The Lion King. Personally, I didn't like The Lion King because I just don't like live action. I think it's terrible, and what have you. And what people don't seem to be getting understand here as well is that there's also marketing costs as well, which they don't put up. Which I'm starting to think that maybe that we should have where these companies should be putting up marketing costs so we can see the actual true amount of money that they have spent for it. Because the box office for some of these movies are sometimes around, or the budget is sometimes 250 million plus, if not more, or what have you. And that's just like the budget. That's not counting maybe 300, 400 million for the marketing. And yeah, it's not good, right? I mean, when you have that big of a budget, that means they have to be making around, 600, 700 million to even make some kind of profit at all. And if you don't make that much, then you're going in the negatives. And this is some type of thing to where they started realizing that. It's just not good. Perhaps if you just don't do the wokeness, you might actually survive and keep your business alive. But unfortunately for Disney, they have to do it. And they decided to hire a very woke, dumb, and honestly terrible person, Rachel Zegler, to take their movie for them. It goes on to say that Disney scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies. Now, I think this is probably a line to maybe where Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler did not get along very well. I mean, at least outside of the performance era, because Gal Gadot is from pretty much Israel, and Rachel Zegler has been pretty much a very staunch proponent of pro-Palestine and Hamas. So I can see to where their interaction could clash here, right? And again, I don't care for either one of these groups, to be honest. I would like to just not give Israel any money at all and leave Hamas and Palestine alone and just let Israel and Hamas have their battles for themselves and see who comes out the victor, and then whoever I have to deal with when they come the victor, right? That's pretty much it. I do not want to deal with these people, and I think giving money to Israel is just stupid. And I'm going to be honest here, guys. The whole situation with, Trump not wanting to prioritize Americans and stuff like that, going harder because Americans were in danger, etc., over Israel is kind of makes sense. But I digress. You people are really just not making it good for yourselves. But anyways, outside of that, it says Disney is hosting a Hollywood premiere of Snow White on March 15th, but the studio won't be rolling out a robust red carpet like it usually does. The afternoon festivities will include a pre-party and screening at the El Captain Theater with a titular star twin Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, expected to attend. However, the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creatives at its premieres. Instead, coverage will be limited to photographers and a house crew. The studio did not comment for this story, but scaled back plans come amid controversies surrounding the Mark Webb direct film, which hits theaters March 21st. So, guys, this is actually a very, very huge deal. All right, this is a huge deal because what we have here is that they have canceled or did a secret showing in Spain, which is like in the Euro or etc., where it's just secret and it's private, right? They don't want this to be known to the public because they're afraid of a woke backlash. And now here in the States, right here in the U.S., you have it to where they're not even doing a red carpet showing here in L.A., etc. This is bad. This means Disney is absolutely terrified of how bad and how big of the backlash this movie is going to get due to all this wokeness, etc. And it's insane. They have Rachel Zegler to blame about this and their woke ideologies, etc. This shows on how much the culture has changed since Trump has become president, and how people are not wanting to deal with this woke BS anymore. And I can't really blame them, to be honest with you. They're causing a lot of problems here. So again, it's hilarious the way that we see this, to where this movie is going to absolutely fail in every regard. It's projected to do so bad that even this is like, nah, we can't show this, in either the two biggest countries to premiere in. So we're gonna hide it. It's not looking good for this movie. I think it's going to do absolutely abysmal. I'm not going to watch it, but yeah, it's hilarious to see. I love to see Snow White crumble and all their wokeness just go to complete shambles, because that's what it deserves. All right, that's it for the video, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.